The pointers are a blessing for that mindset that is willing to investigate or to at least, now we're getting really into trouble because the mind can't see it.
Forget the mind. Forget the mind. You know, it's like you're watching a film on TV, focusing on the film, and suddenly the moving text along the bottom comes up. And in that moving text is the weather report, news headlines, maybe the stock exchange, who knows, whatever it is, it's moving along the bottom. Now, when the attention goes into that moving text, we're drawn away from being present to that film. We're watching the moving text underneath. The attention is going into the narrative, and imagine that's what reality is.
For the mindset that is called, and the idea of separation, which is the line underneath the movie that's running and all the drama that goes with the thoughts that are associated with the images, if a mind is caught by that, then there is a certain sense of discomfort and what we may call suffering. And I am of the opinion that a mind, when it has encountered too many of these issues that turn out to be not very happy issues, dramatic issues, all these dramas that appear in life, that can be quite intense, that there may be a point in time where the mind comes to the realization that it has no chance to get what it is looking for, which is a sense of contentment that is reliable. And in that seeing, maybe you would allow for the possibility that there is a giving up of trying to achieve what it can't achieve. And then the pointer will somehow encourage the attention to turn away from the written and see what's actually happening or what's actually the case.
Yeah, you see, thinking, or mind, or whatever you want to call it, is like an embroidery machine. It just keeps on doing stuff, because that's its nature. So it's like you can't work to a logical end of the thoughts or the mind, because it replicates and it goes on, and it's like a Mandelbrot. And there's no problem in that. When they say that everything is that, they mean it. They mean the so-called obscuration, the seeing it, the not seeing it, the confusion, the non-confusion, whatever is playing out is that. As the Buddha said, the only issue is, in all of this, the only issue is fixation. We fixate. We fixate on a thought. We fixate on the notion that we want to be without these thoughts. A thought arises, and instead of just letting it function and go as the breath comes and goes, we fixate. We don't like this thought, or we like this thought.
So fixation means that you put too much value onto it.
Yeah, you fixate on it. You hang on to it. And we hang on to things either by trying to push them away or by hanging on to them. So if a sense of joyfulness or bliss or whatever is arising, everybody knows those feelings, expressions, experiences. We want to hang on to it. When it starts to move away, as everything does, everything comes and goes, the weather, the breath, whatever, we want to hang on to it. When there is a sense of sadness or sorrow, we desperately want to push that away. And all of these fixations require a key ingredient: labelling. Once we label something, there's a subtle distinction and a decision that we're going to do something with this particular thought.
By labeling, you mean we put value onto it. I mean, you would still call a flower a flower.
Fear arises. There may be fear arising. Quite naturally. The door slams. You're reading a book. The wind catches the door. You jump. It takes a minute or so. You realise, the door's slammed. you get back to reading the book. It takes a minute or so. It's the natural preservation of that pattern. Likewise, the birds might be feeding in the garden. You go out there quietly and suddenly they see you, they take off up into the tree and they're all a little bit disturbed. This is all natural functioning, natural expression, preservation.
Yeah.
You know, walking along a cliff top, enjoying the view, enjoying the smells of the sea. Suddenly, whoa, I'm too close to the edge. Oh, a little bit of fear arises. It's all natural preservation. These things are there to preserve life forms. You know, experience these as part of the functioning. What we do is we put a label on it. Fear is bad. You know, being solemn is bad. Something else is bad. This is good. So we want this lot of things and not that lot of things.
Yeah. It could also be that because the me is basically frustrated because it's isolated and it looks for satisfaction. And maybe out of this concern for its well-being, it tries to pick values that it feels may give more satisfaction and it calls those things good and avoids those potential events that it fears will damage its sense of satisfaction. So I understand that by labeling you mean value it.
Yeah.
To put a value on it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's only fixation.
Okay.
And the fixation is this around this notion that this stuff is happening to a me, which is just another thought. This me thing is just another thought in that thinking stream. It's part of the thinking stream. And we imagine everything's happening to that thought.